Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. This is Gloria Lee, the moderator for the show Women of Courage. Wherever you are in the world, I need you to know one thing right now. You are amazing. I know you might be upset. I know you might be hurting. And I know you might be frustrated. I know because all of these things happened to me. I was homeless for 2 years, and all I had was a computer, my son, and a car. I want you to know you still have a purpose in life, and it is my job to help you believe that again. Do you want to believe? Can you see that the divorce was not meant to take you out? Can you believe that the lost house and the lost job is a setup for something greater? By the end of this broadcast, you'll be injected with so much that you cannot help but believe again. And I am going to help you do just that. Are you ready? I got some things I want to share with you. And I will even make suggestions on books and activities that you can implement, which will ultimately bring healing and wholeness to you. If you are ready to be healed, if you're ready to be whole, just jot down the pointers I give and watch your life transform. No matter what happened, no matter whose fault it was, today is a new day, and your time to live and be free is now. Join me in this journey to wholeness. Your time for total healing is now. Today you shall recover. Wholeness, healness, and peacefulness is in the mind. That is where all battles for life end and begin. The Women of Courage show is being broadcast by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries to help you problem solve, to help you dream again, to help you believe that anything is possible. We want you to believe that you do not have to marry the first man you meet just to get someone to take care of you. You do not have to live a life of drudgery. You can educate yourself. All you have to do is learn to read competently. We want you to take a chance on yourself. Stop believing all the soothsayers around you that have never left a state in their lives. People who do not have courage to fly. People who only think of lying, cheating, and stealing. You can live an exciting life. All you have to do is believe that you can make your dreams come true. You do not have to go to bed with someone you despise day in and day out. You have the right to marry someone that you can talk to someone that believes in you and has faith in you as a human being. In other words, you do not have to settle for just anyone. But what you must do is strive toward your goal. You must be goal oriented. You must organize yourself. You must be clear about what you want in life and why you want such a life. All of us are made up of dreams. As our dreams unfold in our lives, our spirit soars. Realizing our dreams becomes a problem because oftentimes we are beaten down by our friends and family. We are beaten down at school by people laughing at us because of our shoe size, our ear size, our breast size, the clothes we wear, etc. We are beaten down by people saying nothing will come of our lives. We are beaten down when our mothers and grandmothers constantly say that we're going to be just like our father, an inmate in prison. Many of us are also discouraged when our mothers are inattentive. She is wrapped up in her new boyfriend. But life anew is possible. It is my job to encourage you to go as far as you can dream and as far as your dreams can take you. It is my job to get you to believe in life again. I am sick and tired of people failing at life just because they are around negative speaking and negative acting people. Do not let the failure of other people make you lose confidence in yourself. Yes, you may be surrounded by poverty, but you must look for a way out. The book, If You Believe in God, You Do Not Belong in Prison, will help you. What you must do above all else is learn to read competently. You must read, read, and read. Anyone who laughs at you for reading, you need to leave that person alone. I do not care if it's your mother. Anyone who discourages you, you are to stop all association. Man is not different than plants. We need encouragement to grow as plants need water to thrive. You are to leave foolish, stupid people alone. Their ignorance will weigh you down or even get you killed. Sit down and think how you can avoid these people, especially if they're in your family. If you are overwhelmed with the tiring feeling that feels as if you're carrying a bag of stone around every morning when you get out of bed and think how you'll have to spend another living life you're not passionate about, the books I suggest are the perfect solution for your unique needs. Not only will we help you realize why these feelings overwhelm you and what you can do to change it, but they will also teach you how to live a life of strength, courage, fearlessness in order to realize all of your dreams. If you are lacking the attitude and psychology, proper resource or vision to make your dreams a reality, combined with dissatisfaction with the execution of your plans, but you remain firmly dedicated to making your ambition a reality and creating the life you deserve, you will certainly derive the most benefit from professional, incredible content within these books. Contents that will assist you in achieving the results that you are after. You are never to give up on yourself. Are you ready to leave your future to chance? Of course not. Take your life in your hand and learn all the necessary tools, mindset, strategies used by the men and women of courage, used in order to live the life of their dream. Change your life with our book starting today. Before we begin, we're going to take a few moments to collect ourselves and to relax before we engage into our discussion. What we need to do is to focus now on bringing positive energy into our lives and into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We have all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our lives will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we can do this is by changing our outlook, meeting every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism, and once you do this, you will see a change in yourself. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons why your life is amazing. You will see the change. You will be changed. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful and think positive. The topic we are about to discuss today is often bound by ignorance and set to other plan, and yet is one of the most important topics of modern time, and that subject is domestic violence. Although you think that domestic violence is something that's happening far, far away, and that it is impossible that it will happen to you, you will be shocked to know that at least several of you are either a victim or you know someone who is a victim of domestic violence. According to the National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey, an average of 20 people per minute experience intimate partner abuse every minute, and every 1 in 3 women have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner during their lifetime. Things get even worse when we know that slightly more than half of females victims of domestic violence live in households with children under the age of 12. Think about that. If a young boy is watching his mother getting beaten by his father, how do you think he will behave when he grows up? He will learn that it is okay to beat women, to insult women, and to humiliate women. Even worse is when young girls witness domestic violence in their home. She will learn that it's okay for men to beat women. Therefore, her chances of becoming a victim are far greater because this environment of domestic violence becomes normal to her. As you can see, it doesn't take a bruise from a child to be a victim of domestic violence. Kids who witness domestic violence are victims too. How is this possible? How is it possible that such destructive and horrible things like domestic violence happen so often and to so many women and children? Why don't they say something? The other day I was reading a story that happened in 2007 about a young girl named Pam who got pregnant with her boyfriend, and they decided to get married. Her sister said that she wasn't sure if she should marry him, and that on her wedding day, her Pam was the saddest bride ever. One night, Pam told her sister that she doesn't want to get married, explaining he often yells at her and that sometimes he doesn't permit her to leave the house. Pam also told her sister that it would be bad for a child to grow up without a father, that he can provide financial security, and maybe he would improve once they were married. Her sister told her that she should not be afraid to raise her child on her own, and that she shouldn't marry him only because he could provide financial security. Her sister told Pam that that mustn't be the reason for you to marry him. That definitely would not be good for the baby. In fact, it would be certainly wrong. Unfortunately, Pam did not listen, and she married him after all. Later, her hopes of him improving completely vanished as he continued with the same behavior. After the baby was born, things got worse. He would press her up against the wall or to the floor and humiliate her by saying horrible things. Things went even further as he would get into her online accounts and control everything. Her sister kept saying to Pam to get out, but Pam would not listen. He will get better. He'll calm down, she used to say. Time for red flags were when he got a gun. He said it was for protection, but pretty soon Pam found out herself when the gun was pointed to her head. So many men before him, he told Pam if she ever tried to leave him, he would kill her and her child would grow up without a mother. Pam started searching for a way out, but unfortunately it was too late. One night, 2 uniformed men rang the door of Pam's sister's home. They told her they found Pam and her husband dead in their home. Pam was killed and her husband committed suicide. He looked to her online accounts and found out that she had been talking to an old boyfriend. He completely snapped. After hitting her several times, he shot her and then himself. Just because Pam was afraid that she would not be able to raise her child on her own to provide financial security, Pam was killed. Unfortunately, there are thousands of stories just like this, and the reason women stay in these kinds of relationships are almost always the same. The most disturbing part of this is that women accept domestic violence as part of their lives. What does this mean? This means that if a woman is subjugated to domestic violence, she won't say anything to anyone because she's afraid. She's afraid that she won't be able to manage her life by herself. She's afraid of what people will say if she divorces and is single in her age. She is afraid for her child. No one's life should look like this. Freedom is not when you choose to stay in a relationship with an abuser. It is not sacrificing yourself just because someone made you believe you depend on him. Freedom is about love and for one another. If we keep quiet and close our eyes, we won't be able to help many other women who are in danger. So I tell you, it is our moral duty to speak out and to do something about this issue. If you think you are a victim of domestic violence, come and speak to us. We love you and we want to help you. If you know someone for whom you think may be a victim, reach out to her and talk to her. If you were a victim of domestic violence, but you managed to get out, come and share your story to give hope to other victims. Together we can help victims precisely because we can and we must. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now,
you were built to push boundaries. You were designed to go beyond the breaking point. But somewhere down the line, you got comfortable. You decided settling was the best option. There are no comfort zones on the path to success. There is no wait once you see an opportunity. In this life, we don't walk around our fears. We grit our teeth, we run over those fears. So show me where you come from. Where risk is taken and the pride is won. We don't stop in this life. We don't quit in this life. We push until the day we die.
You need to live life with a purpose. You need to spend the time needed to explore, to find your true passion. There are so many unhappy people in this world not willing to make a change. There are so many unhappy people not focusing on the big picture. 1 out of 3 people are happy with their lives. Think about that for a second. 70% of the people you see every day are not happy. And the majority of that has to do with purpose. People are programmed, wired to be okay with the minimum. People stay in jobs they're not passionate about. They date people who don't support them, hang out with people who don't help them grow. This can't be you. You need to spend the time to discover what your true calling is. What are you passionate about? What do you see yourself doing to make your mark? Are you in a job right now that you're truly happy with? Do you wake up every morning excited to start your day? If not, that's okay. You know now this isn't fulfilling you. But what are you gonna do about it? Are you willing to make a change to help reach your goals? If you are, it needs to start now. Because this won't happen overnight, finding your true calling. But once you do, you will see how everything changes. You will begin to see the quality of your life increase. All those problems you had, they slowly fade. You begin to see how powerful life is with a purpose. Anything that you want in this life can be obtained. You just need to believe. Believe in yourself. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are resilient. You are what we call the women of courage. And your time is now. There are no victims in this life. So I'm asking you, are you ready to make a change? Are you ready to fight for what you want? Are you ready to fight for your dreams? If you are, it starts now. This is the Women of Courage.
Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the hands of a million people? Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach a million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support.
Please support our breast cancer initiative by purchasing one or more books that are on sale exclusively at WHPR TV 33, 160 Victor Street, Highland Park. The books are written to help you improve your life. Tell a friend of our campaign. We must stop this deadly disease.
After our broadcast, you should go to YouTube and watch our video for a second and third time. This will reinforce the information that we are discussing. When you watch our videos on YouTube, it would be helpful to us if you would subscribe to the channel Touched by the Light Publishing. This way, you will be reminded when we publish another video. And if our videos are helpful to you, tell a friend or a coworker. Thank you so much. What does the face of domestic violence look like? What does the face of the domestic abuse look like? I'm sure that most would imagine images of bruises or hands being held over the mouth of women and children as they look into the camera of a stock photograph. But domestic violence does not have to leave bruises for a person to be abused, and often the hands silencing victims are not literal. Due to its very nature, domestic violence is secretive and difficult to recognize from both the outsider and the victim's perspective before it's too late. Abusers are manipulative and deceitful and charming, and they also appear to be loving, protective fathers of the or husband in public settings, with the abuse continuing behind closed doors. If one was to apply the global statistic of one child in three being a victim of domestic abuse to our classrooms, friendship circles, and working spaces, how many children would we have to include? What would their faces look like? How would their abusers greet us in the corridor? And further yet, how many of these children would we have believed? Many of these children are next door neighbors. It is correct. We know the parents, we know their uncles, we know their homes, but to what extent do we really know about their lives? One of the earliest signs of abuse is that of the abuser, cutting their partner off from the outside world, often preventing their partner from spending any time with friends and families, manipulating them to quit their job and move to another city away from any form of support. They intentionally alter the circumstances so that the abused, every aspect of their life can be controlled by the abuser. The abuser discourages or prevents any form of financial independence, any form of an opinion, or any say over their lives. Furthermore, when things go wrong, it is always the victim who is to blame for the disruption, even if it is not their fault. In many cases, women look back and feel guilty and ashamed that they allowed this to happen. And this is made worse by people asking, well, why didn't you just leave or fight back? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I'm here to tell you that violence is never the victim's fault. So stop asking them that stupid question. The fact that identifying domestic violence is so difficult makes combating this epidemic, it makes it seem impossible. Coupled with the fact that abusers tailor-make the balance of power so that the victims are unable to speak up for themselves or their families, the idea of leaving or trying to leave is an inconceivable eventuality for many victims trapped in the cycle of abuse. Women have been oppressed for too long, and society has, for the most part, failed women. We have come to accept violence as merely a fact of life, or excusing it with the phrase, I made him angry, or I should not have been wearing that. But this is not true. These are lies that abusers tell their victims as a form of manipulation, and we will not stand for this. Nelson Mandela, a global icon in the struggle against violence and domination, has said that freedom cannot be achieved until women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression. However, he has also said that one of the greatest tools of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. When we are made to believe that we are powerless, that is exactly what we become. Surely, if we are to believe the opposite, that too is true. They are not powerless, and they need to keep telling themselves that. Educating young women, children, and young men about the cycle of abuse and the many ugly faces of domestic violence is one way to cut the problem off at the roots. Establishing adequate shelter, counseling forums, and support networks for victims to come together and provide a safe net for women determined to leave is a necessity. October is Domestic Violence Month, and I will be traveling around and speaking to many groups as I can of young women from a variety of different backgrounds, beliefs, and families. This month, I want young people everywhere to become equipped with the tools to combat violence in what I call the 3 L's. You listen to a person's story. I mean, truly listen and understand where your fellow human being is coming from. 2, you learn about domestic violence, what it looks like, and how it can affect the victim and those around them. And finally, there is not really an L. The word is relate. Relate to this information back to your friends, colleagues, and classmates. The more the knowledge is shared about the abuse, the greater one's chance of fighting this epidemic that we have. Remember, give this information away to your friends, colleagues, and classmates. Talk about domestic violence. That's the only way to get rid of this ugly problem. Again, I say in South Africa, there is a saying that has become iconic in the women's struggle against oppression. And the saying reads, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. Well, ladies, if we're going to come together and unite against this evil, then we might as well make striking a mountain.
We are here today to introduce the poem Stand Up, American Woman, Stand Up. The poem appears in the book Women of Courage. This is a very important poem because it resolves our lives into one word, courage. Courage is fundamental to life. It is not necessarily discussed when considering everyday activities, but courage is essential to almost all human events. It takes courage to ask for a date. It takes courage to apply for a job. It takes courage to apply to college. In fact, it takes courage to stand in the face of any possible rejection, because there are negative soothsayers around us every day, offering antidotal possibilities of disaster. The underpinning of courage is motivation. How motivated are we to one another? How dedicated are we to another's well-being? How determined are we to right a wrong, to stand in opposition to a larger force? How do women face one another in the face of rape and or murder? Do we avoid eye contact or stick our heads in the sand, leaving all readdress to someone else? Or do we stand? These are the questions the poem Stand Up, American Woman, Stand Up explores. As you view our presentation, consider this question. Would you not want someone to help you when the hour is dark and you are standing alone? Picture yourself standing under a streetlight with cars passing you by. Do you not feel isolated, frightened, and alone? But what happens to your spirit if another woman walks up and stands beside you in the darkness, and the two of you begin walking together? If a second woman joins you, and the three of you walk in darkness, does your spirit not soar? We present the poem, Stand Up, American Woman, Stand Up. We thank you for watching Stand Up, American Woman, Stand Up. We want to save as many women as we can from physical and mental mistreatment as possible, starting with you. You can't afford to be left in the dark any longer. That's why we recently published Women of Courage. The lives of our mothers and daughters depend on the decision we make or do not make regarding their safety. We are a political force, and our will can be granted through the ballot box. But we must work together and not let anyone divide us, including career women only looking to be elected and then turn their backs on the electorate as soon as they get in office. Women of Courage was also written to demonstrate to women that women can be the woman they want to be. A satisfying career in any field is possible. Others have done it, and so can you. You do not have to be satisfied working at Wendy's or waiting on tables at Red Lobster. The series Women of Courage books that takes no prisoners, an honest guide to what you really need to know about making career choices and abusive relationships or leaving controlling men. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will save more women's lives than this 3-part massive book, Women of Courage. In the pages that follow, you will learn about change, discover your hidden talent, and discover the danger that women face throughout their lives. Most importantly, you will see how to beat threats made against you once and for all, using the workbook to design a cutting-edge plan for change. You are invited to be among the first to purchase the series Women of Courage. Please read these books, then reach across the aisle to another woman and work together in our struggle for survival.
Hi, I decided that at the end of every show for the next year, I would share excerpts from a book that I believe would enhance your life and make you a stronger thinker and problem solver. All characteristics that will help you win at life and raise stronger and healthy children. Many of you turn your nose up at reading, or you snub the advice that you must read in life to succeed, or you compare the cost of a book to getting a new pair of shoes or getting your hair done or your nails done. The reason why you make these cost comparisons is because you do not truly value a book. A book is a magnificent instrument that can change the course of your life and the lives of your children. In later shows, I plan to discuss with you how a book changed the lives of certain people. I understand that you do not earn a lot of money, and this money is valuable to you because of all the things you see advertised that you desire, and you do not want to spend a lot of money on a book. A new pair of shoes is more valuable to you than a book. If you truly cannot afford a book, then you need to go to the library and take your children with you for a day of reading. You must gird your loins and proceed at educating yourself. Some of you seem to think that having a conversation with your stupid girlfriend or your stupid boyfriend will help you more than reading a book, when actually having a conversation with your loudmouth girlfriend or loudmouth boyfriend is merely a cathartic, allowing you to blow off steam and proclaim how life has been so unfair to you. What you do not realize is that the advice coming from your do-nothing girlfriend or your do-nothing boyfriend is advice coming from a fool. Your do-nothing girlfriend is a sexual opportunist looking for a man she can impress with her body. When her vagina fails her, what will your girlfriend do but go to work at McDonald's or Wendy's at the age of 60 and continue to spread her ignorance at church? Her daughter will be on the street and her son in prison. She will never realize that her life is the result of the decision she made not to educate herself through reading. All her life she felt that she had something better to do than reading. She had something better to do than reading with her children. She had something better to do than working with her children. And that was going to the bar, trying to entertain a man or trying to find some man that would buy her a pair of shoes. A man spending money on her was more important than educating herself. In later shows, I'm going to spend a great deal of time giving you some examples of fools. These are people who think they are smart, willing to trade their body and integrity for a dollar bill. These people end up in the cemetery after lamenting each and every day of their lives about their unfulfilled dreams. Do not be upset by the use of the word fool. You tell me if a woman is not a fool to instruct her grandson to kill her husband for a $25,000 life insurance. Let that sink in for a moment. Instead of instructing her grandson to make something of his life, the grandmother instructs her grandson to become a murderer, to kill his grandfather. I have this anecdotal advice for you about reading. Listen to this short true story. A friend and I were talking. She said a woman she knew called her and sought to renew their friendship. During their conversation, the woman told my friend that President Trump had done so much for black people, and that's why she voted for him in 2016, and she was going to vote for him again in the upcoming election. My friend asked her a question. She said, "Tell me some of the things that Trump has done for black people." The woman said, "A whole lot." My friend persisted and asked her to name one thing that Trump had done for black people. The woman could not. The woman kept using the phrase, "a whole lot of things." My friend said after a while she stopped talking. Finally, the conversation was over and my friend hung up. My friend said, as she hung up, she made up her mind right then that she would never renew her friendship with this woman. Now ask yourself why. Why would she not renew her friendship with this woman? You can answer this question in 2 words. The woman was a poor thinker. She never investigated anything that was told to her. Whether you know it or not, a person who is a poor thinker, who does not examine his or her thinking, is a very dangerous person indeed. Think about it. Today, we are going to discuss the book entitled, You Are the Prophet of Your Life. This is an excellent book to read. It is filled with encouragement and insight into how you should support yourself and how you can advance yourself in life. This is a great read.
Please take a moment to listen to these alarming statistics. According to a recent New York Times article, the U.S. suicide rate surged to a 30-year high in 2015. In fact, in the last 15 years alone, the suicide rate for girls aged 10 to 14 tripled. Middle-aged women saw a 63% increase. And for middle-aged men, the rate grew by 43%. These statistics are devastating. People of all ages and walks of life are unhappy, desperate, and without hope. And the problem is getting worse. My name is Gloria Lee, and I'm here to tell you that there is an answer. You are the prophet of your life. You can control your destiny and shape your future. You can live a better, more fulfilling life. You can change the course you're on. You Are the Prophet of Your Life is a new book that I've written and that I am glad to be able to share with you or anyone you know who may be personally suffering. Nobody needs to suffer in silence. This book will show you how to be the author of a new chapter in your life. It will show you what you need to do to be happy, successful, and sure of yourself and your future. I have found that it's in your darkest hours that you can discover your true self, the brilliant light within all of us that can never, ever be dimmed. You learn how to make informed decisions that will enrich your soul, enlighten your mind, and show you that you have the capacity to make permanent, positive changes in your life. You are the prophet of your life. Many of us live our lives, but few live their dreams. As prophets of our lives, we have the capacity. We can also attain our most lofty dreams. Ask yourself, do you want to have rewarding personal relationships? Do you want to run a successful business? Do you want to raise a beautiful, happy family? Whatever your dreams are, they are all possible if you have the roadmap, the set of instructions on how to achieve these goals. You have them now, and you are the prophet of your life. No one has to live a life of mediocrity, settling with whatever comes their way. This book provides practical guidance on how you can move from just dreaming of having a better life into making it become your reality. Please join me in watching this short video on how you can realize that you really are the prophet of your life. Listen, negative thoughts interfere with the wonderful life you are meant to live. You Are the Prophet of Your Life will show you how to live positively no matter what your current situation is. Don't let problems stand in your way of a happy and successful life. Learn how to overcome even the most difficult challenges you may face. Think of your life from today on as a new building in which you are the architect. You are the builder of the greatest life you can live. It's up to you to determine what course your life takes starting today. Because, my friend, you are truly the prophet of your life. Every day life throws challenges at us, and it's how we choose to handle them that makes all the difference. You can decide the course of your life from today onward. You can be your own prophet. Some of the key messages discussed in the book include being consistent in what you say and what you believe. A problem that most of us are guilty of is inconsistency. We are destined to fail when we allow negative thoughts and beliefs to impact what we say, not only to ourselves, but to others. Being inconsistent in one's beliefs translates to sowing seeds of doubt and unbelief. The famous saying is true that whatever you sow, you will reap. Always endeavor to be consistent in what you say and speak to others exuding faith, happiness, and wellness. Being pessimistic is dangerous. Do you get up in the morning telling yourself it's going to be a horrible day? No matter how bad your yesterday was, it should never stop you from being optimistic today. Being a pessimist is a recipe for suffering. It prevents you from seeing the positives in your life. You must realize that you are in control of what you think. Most importantly, positive thoughts lead to positive actions. Why get up in the morning telling yourself it's going to be a horrible day? Why tell yourself you are meant for the doom and not the fortune? Being pessimistic sets you up for a miserable life. It prevents you from seeing the positives in your life. You must realize that you're in control of what you think. Most importantly, you must always remember it is positive thinking that will make you a better person. The importance of reading scriptures. You don't need to believe in God to read scriptures. There are lessons that anyone can learn and gain inspiration from. Reading the Bible can help liberate you from negative thinking. God's words exude hope and positivity. God tells man that he can look forward to a great life by living righteously and not violating others. Nothing is as powerful as this. The need to investigate your emotions. Being the prophet of your life involves you being in control of your emotions. Investigating our emotions requires self-examination, which for some is painful. Most of us are scared to make mistakes, so we hesitate to make tough decisions. No matter how difficult investigating your emotions can be, you must never shy away from it. When you are not in touch with your emotions, you are destined to live a life out of control. Take control of your life. Taking authority over your life involves you investigating your emotions. A lot of us fail in this regard. Investigating our emotions requires self-examination, which is usually painful. Apart from this, most of us are scared of making mistakes. Thus, we tend to prefer to oscillate back and forth between two kingdoms than taking tough decisions. Irrespective of how difficult investigating your emotions can be, you must never shy away from it. When you do not investigate your emotions, you are inviting others to take control of your life. You are the prophet of your life. A lot of us have found ourselves in threatening scenarios: a cheating husband or a cheating wife, an unwanted pregnancy, extreme poverty, and many others. We were faced with making decisions which could either make us or mar us. While some of us were able to scale through, others weren't lucky enough. Well, it's not that the women that couldn't make it through were foolish or less deserving. Most of the time, they were just unlucky to be victims of the weak belief system of the society we find ourselves. By living positively, you can solve a number of personal problems that could stand in your way of a happy and successful life. Think of your life as a new building for which you are the architect. You can decide how many bathrooms or bedrooms you put in there. Think of your life as a vehicle for which you are the driver. You can decide when to stop or accelerate. Think of your life as a ship on a stormy sea, for which you are the sailor. You have to sail to safety, otherwise the ship will capsize. Only you can determine your course. Only you can decide which direction you want to go. You can liberate yourself. The book, You Are the Prophet of Your Life, was written to help people all across the world to stand and confront the monsters in our lives for the sake of the future of our children. This book takes into cognizance the millions of people in the world who have lost their lives solely because they were poor and were unable to control their environment. If the book, You Are the Prophet of Your Life, has a positive change on just one person's life and saves them from living a life full of hopelessness and despair, then it will have been worth it to me. But I know the impact this way of life has already had on me, and my goal is to share the message with as many people suffering as possible. This book is for everyone, male or female. This is the story of your life, and you are its only writer. Let You Are the Prophet of Your Life be your companion to help guide you through life's obstacles. Let it be the beacon of light to awaken your best you. A Chinese proverb says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You should never be afraid of taking the bold step. You want a change of career at 40? Go for it. You need to acquire a new skill to boost your income? Go for it. You love someone but are scared to tell them? Come on, do it now. No one would kill you for that. It's the story of your life. You don't let anyone else but you be the writer. You can look beyond the facade of whatever despair and disappointment you are currently facing. Don't ever look down on yourself. If you ever have to look down, make sure it's your shoes you're admiring. You need a companion to help you through life. You need a companion to help make your decision-making a lot easier. That companion is You Are the Prophet of Your Life. Read a copy now and live the life you've always wanted. We at Touched by the Light Publishing hope you enjoyed our presentation and realize you can enjoy a more fruitful and fun-filled life after reading You Are the Prophet of Your Life. Sadly, breast cancer is among the most common cancers that occur in women. By simply being a female, you've already increased your risk of developing breast cancer. And though men have been known to develop breast cancer, it is nearly 100 times more common in women. It is estimated that every 2 minutes a woman or man is diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States. The chance that a woman will die from breast cancer is about 2.6%, or 1 in 38 cases. It can be a devastating diagnosis for any woman. That's why awareness surrounding breast cancer is incredibly important, as early screening can detect the disease when it's most treatable. Put simply, it would be safe to say that if diagnosed early, most women and men can be cured of this cancer. The key is early diagnosis. At Touched by the Light, our goal is to increase the awareness of breast cancer and show that every man and woman who is battling this illness, that their life is important. We are looking to raise money and champion the fight against breast cancer by selling 5 different books that are all about empowering you to become the best version of yourself. And among other exciting topics, learn how you can automatically become the prophet of your own life with You Are the Prophet of Your Life, which is all about teaching you how to prophesy to yourself because you are an offspring of the living word and a people of prophecy. Or how, as a Christian, you can avoid negative forces and defend your minds with knowledge with Know Your Enemy. What's more, you'll receive a free gift for every book you purchase as our token of appreciation. By working together, we can inspire hope and become a force for good to get breast cancer patients to access the care they need. Tell a friend about our campaign, and you'll also be helping us fight this disease. To help you save on shipping and handling, the books are available exclusive at the radio station, WHPR TV 33 160 Victor Street in Highland Park. To learn more about us and our initiatives, tune into the Women of Courage show that airs on WHPR 88.1 FM every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Also visit www.touchedbythelight.us to access our entire book collection. Please go to https://nisv.info and download the Black Women and Breast Cancer PDF. Together we can fight this disease and win.
Become a sponsor of the Women of Courage show by inviting 10 women for a pleasant afternoon to listen to us speak at your venue. Help us change our community to one of peace and harmony. The Women of Courage show is supported by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries to help women problem solve and to help women realize their dreams. Women should believe that anything is possible. Our sole purpose is the restoration of injured women, both physically and mentally. We meet twice a month on Saturday at a local restaurant to discuss subjects germane to women. We see 5 main problems of black women that we must solve ourselves. One is the sexual abuse of children, bringing unrelated males into the home and fail to notice changes in behavior. Rape and murder of black women, failure to learn the warning signs, breast cancer, which is a failure to be examined, sex trafficking of black women, accepting prostitution as a way of life, economic trials of black women due to the inability to read or lack of education. Learn how to sponsor the Women of Courage show by speaking to our spokesperson, Renee of WHPR. She can be reached at renee88.1fm@gmail.com. I repeat, renee88.1fm@gmail.com. She will tell you all about it, or you can leave a message at the number 734-686-1444. Thank you. Join us at the Women of Courage show every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. for information that will change your life. You can also visit us at our website, touchedbythelight.us, for more information. Thank you. If you do not like your life, then change it. Listen to us when we broadcast, and we can help you find a new way.